happy Friday. This is Michelle with Revolutionary Resume, here to bring you some updates on the job market. So let's talk about what is going on out there. A whole lot of news. One of the things that was discovered in a report that 60% of U.S. workers don't have a quality job, meaning not work-life balance that provides, a financial stability and well-being, a safe workplace, autonomy and decision-making powers, things like that. Where would you place your employer? One where you do have that kind of overall, like you're empowered to be able to make the changes you need to do to help further the company along in your department, or are you more throttled and not in a quality workplace? Something to think about. Nestle worldwide is cutting about 16,000 jobs. Most will be the white collar, about 12,000 of them. The rest will be in manufacturing and supply chain. That is worldwide. It's part of measures to improve productivity. The overall job cuts will amount to almost 6% of Nestle's workforce. This cutting manufacturing positions to increase productivity. I mean, obviously I've not read the full report and an outline of, a really minutia breakdown of what's being cut, but that sounds like a lot of corporate speak to me. Been there, I think we all have. All right, let's talk about this. The 1.8 technology company has a few entry-level positions on the market, and this is actually Meta. For a full-stack software engineer, multiple product software engineer roles. These roles, the highest paying one is $290,000. These are entry-level roles. However, they're not work from home. So if you are in California or Washington, you are in good shape. There is a ton of roles open with Meta. So maybe go check those out. Might have some good news. All right, let's talk about Kroger. Kroger is doing their seasonal hiring. So if you are currently looking for a job, there is absolutely 200% no shame in any job, and I've worked a lot of retail throughout my time. They're hiring 18,000 workers. If you need a second job, which we talked a little bit about last week, or a first job, please, please, please consider retail. I hate for anybody to have a bad holiday because they can't afford a Thanksgiving meal. There is an initiative in my town to one young lady asked for all the organizations that help with food, and she is making a list of everything for everybody. Another company is wanting to provide Thanksgiving and Christmas for one needy family, and any of the money left over goes to help that family's rent or mortgage. Last year, I think he said they paid $3,000 additional to somebody's future rent payments. So there's a lot of good out there. Make sure you're connecting with your neighbors so that you can help. Of course, I'm not the boss of you, just some thoughts. Let's check out Amazon. They are looking to hire 250,000 more. Most of these are seasonal roles. But if you've not worked for Amazon, it's pretty intense, but it's decent pay. A lot more so than going to like Kroger or Walmart or something like that. So that is also something to consider. Vanguard did a study, and they said the data shows that the labor market strength is that there is labor market strength despite slower hiring. We talked about the big stay and job hugging and people not moving. This is part of that. But a lot of people aren't leaving. Be advised, when this flip does switch, you should have your stuff ready. You know where to find me. Let's talk about, this is my funny for today. So an outperforming employee has the last laugh after HR cuts his yearly pay by 30% without notice. Can you even imagine? So this is a quote from a Reddit post that has since been pulled. I worked my off and worked more than 500 overtime hours last year and even covered for other people since we had high fluctuation in the company, the post explained. The employee was also complimented and encouraged for the work they were putting in. However, things took an unwanted turn when the employee's contract was renewed. Since I am an expat in that country under a 2-year contract that gets constantly renewed, recently it got refreshed. Out of the blue, HR cut my yearly pay by 30% and said it's due to new compliance guidelines, and they said I can leave if I don't like the offer, the post mentioned. There's a lot more funnies, but he does get the last laugh in all of this because nobody wanted to take his job because they saw the amount of hours. They saw that the pay was not an equitable offer for the work being done. None of his coworkers would take the role. So it just is very funny, and I will put a link to the full article from ScoopUpworthy.com in the comments. Now, for those of you that are watching on YouTube, you'll have to hit Facebook or LinkedIn up to grab the rest of the article. But it is pretty chucklish for any of us who have been in workplaces that were really just working us to the bone. And it'll give you a little chuckle on your day, or at least I hope so. Please don't forget to like and share and subscribe. Even send some stars. It really does help. And I appreciate you, and take care of yourself and each other.